Hello there. My name's Sean, also known as the Determinator. What I have today for you is a tournament game in the Tawny Tufted Toucanet Team Tussle tournament. And we're playing against Herc here. As you can see, I'm going first. This is the post-game commentary. I'm going first. And as you see, we've got a good Island Bird in Alderman's Gull. Always love to see that. We've also got a Yellowhammer. And I've been having some good games recently with these player bird Teal Powers. And so I thought I'd pick it again. Always pick it if it's in my starting hand. Almost always, anyway. And here we got the Hawk I decided to pick because, you know, it's a cheap forest bird just to unlock that first weapon slot. I wanted to see the power's not great, but just something to have there to unlock that second forest slot. Very important when you're running Yellowhammer. Just be able to get as much food as possible, as early as possible. Just contemplating what exactly my plan was attack, because obviously when you're running these player bird Teal Powers, you have to plan it very carefully, particularly in this first round. You can see I had decided to pick large bird specialist as my bonus card. When you've got one of these player bird powers, you've got to plan your turns, and in this first round I always struggle a little bit to get it right. You have to my aim is always to try and get 4 birds down, get 3 birds down, and then use the tail power to play a 4th bird. That's what I always try and do. And it's always a bit tricky to you've got to look for cheap birds to play, birds that don't use food, free birds like California condor, stuff like that. Really useful when you're running Yellowhammer, particularly in this first round. You're trying to get a bird down when you've not got that many resources. And as you can see, I haven't got a bird that gives food. So in the forest, it's going to be tricky to get the food required. So, I've definitely missed out on being able to use these powers in the first round because I've not planned things properly, or just not found a bird to play, or I've just ended up using it to play a 3rd bird on occasion. But my plan here was to get the Hawk in. As you can see, it's got 2 grains in the feeder that I was definitely have got my eye on. There's nothing in the tray worth looking at here. I was going first, but there was nothing there, so just ignored that. And I'm just thinking about these, wanting to get those grains in the feeder here, get them. But getting the Alderman's Gull down was my first plan here. Get the Alderman's Gull down. Hopefully leave those grains there for later. But yeah, I can't remember. I think I was on not a great record at this point in the tournament. I think I'd lost 4-1-2, something like that. So I definitely needed a win. Waterwood's Gull down. Yes, my team is the Imperial Eagles. So you can see I already had 2. That's another reason why I chose the Hawk, actually, because it met the bonus card. My opponent had a good start as well. They had a great sit down. Very good, one of the best forest birds. Definitely one that I would love to have in this situation. So my plan here, I was thinking of get some cards, hopefully find something that I can play as my second play, but also get something that I don't want that I can discard and get 2 food. Unfortunately, my opponent has reset the feeder with their great tit, so the 2 grains have gone, which did present something of an obstacle here. So I'll see what we can find. Clark's Grebe is a very nice apple, a nice cheap bird, just the sort of bird you're looking for. And then I had these two to choose from. I thought, well, the woodpecker, a bird that gives more food, exactly what I needed really in this situation with the yellowhammer. Especially one that gave me grains, potentially, but... So yeah, I was thinking maybe go for food twice, play the yellowhammer and maybe play the woodpecker as the spare play. But only if the food worked out, and of course the grains for the yellowhammer are not there. So, and I had to think about this a bit. Decide what I was going to do. 3 turns left. How I was going to get the yellowhammer down and then play an extra bird. I decided that because the food for the grebe was there, that maybe I should... This point I had to decide, do I want to play woodpecker, do I want to play grebe? With the end of round as well, I thought, yeah, the grebe surely would be maybe the better play here. It obviously helps for 2 of the other end of round goals as well. So I did decide to take the fish. And I was sort of hoping here that they might change the feeder and I'll be able to get a grain easily, but in the end they didn't, so I had to ditch the woodpecker to get the grain I needed. Bit of a shame because it definitely would have been useful, but you can see the hawk being its typical self, really, not hitting at any point. But that's still good. It still serves a purpose in this situation, for sure. So yeah, my opponent had to get the grader down to get a lot of food because king rail was the only bird they had for the wetlands, so that's what they've decided to put down. So yeah, play the yellowhammer. And I thought, well, yeah, there's a chance here. I might be able to win the end of round by playing this grebe. So yeah, a lot of the games in this tournament, actually, I've played the extra play Teal Powers. Used them on quite a few of them and had some good games. Also had some not so good games. So yeah, I seem to have turned up a lot in this tournament. Big advocate of them. So yeah, in there goes the grebe as the spare play, as the extra play. And it did win me the end of round, which is fantastic. A bit of a bonus, I was not expecting it at all. Into the second round, and obviously I was going second, but there's a crack on the tray. Obviously no chance of getting hold of that. Yeah, so there goes the grackle. Also the black vulture in, which I definitely did have to think about. So I had to draw cards, and yeah, it got me an eagle, so that was definitely a good one, and had a choice between a couple here. Probably didn't need any more wetland birds at this stage, so I think I decided that the honey buzzard was definitely the play here. Honey buzzard works well with the yellowhammer. And also met this end of round goal as well. Just deciding what to do here. Do I want to get the food for the honey buzzard, or do I want to draw cards again? I decided I do want to get some more food. Ditch the titmouse to get a bit more food. So I was thinking here, put down the honey buzzard, and then draw cards, see if I can find something else that I can play, preferably a grassland bird, because eggs is a big weakness of mine at the moment. Our opponent played the black vulture in the hope that my hawk was gonna be successful, but it's going hungry so far. And they play the red-leg partridge, which is obviously the basis of a scary grassland potentially. So. Just having a little think here about what I want to do here, what the plan is. I was sort of thinking maybe this eagle could be my spare play. I'd rather it not be, I'd rather find something else, but I leave the eagle to later. But obviously the eagle does meet all three of the end around goals, which is nice, and my bonus card. So it was very fortuitous for it to turn up. But yeah, I thought I'd just grab some cards here. If I find something I can play, then great. But if not, I could use the cards under the eagle as the spare play. I was just considering the starling because it's a cheap bird. I decided to take starling because it's a cheap bird and I had the food for it. So it would be good as sort of a backup to play if I was stuck. Also draw the grasshopper sparrow here. Obviously, eggs is a big weakness of mine, so that's why I decided to keep that in the thought that might actually be useful. So I had a couple of choices here. I could try and go for food and play something, but then maybe the sparrow, but then I wouldn't have anything for the end of the round. Or I could go for food, egg lay, and then play the sparrow. That's a spare play. Or I could go for cards again and try and use the eagle as a spare play. But of course, bear in mind that honey buzzard could get me some food as well, so I did consider playing the starling just to push out the grassland, and then egg lay, and then play the eagle, but I didn't have the cards or the food to do that, so had to reconsider. Yeah, it took a little bit of grey matter usage here to decide what to do, but I did decide to go for cards and just play the eagle as a spare play. And it obviously comes the condor, which is definitely useful. Also picked, you'll notice, the blue-winged warbler, which obviously is really good when you've got the honey buzzard, gives you worms, so could potentially be useful to play that later as a spare play. Yeah, so at this stage in the game, I wasn't thinking it was going particularly well. I didn't have a huge amount of points on the board. Obviously, I had a spare play to come, but only 5 birds down. Yeah, well, I wasn't feeling too good about it, really. Definitely some good options going on, but like no engine to speak of. But it was very nice that when I played this eagle, I'd get to the first stage of my bonus card already. just deciding what I was going to put under the eagle. But yeah, egg lay first, definitely for the end of round. I think I might have a chance of winning this end of round as well. But I was just looking to see if I had to discard my cherry in order to win it, or if I could keep my cherry, as it were, and still win it. And as it was, I could keep my cherry, and I decided to play the condor as the spare play, and it gave me enclosure builder, so that was nice. Yeah, to be honest, looking back on this, I thought I had played the eagle then, but I decided to play the condor first. It was a little while ago, to be honest. And you see, the honey buzzard only got me one worm, which is not great, but it's better than nothing, isn't it? So, first, go on the third round, go for cards. Nothing too amazing got, to be honest. But obviously I had to do that for the Yellowhammer. So yeah, now I had enclosure builder. I was looking at this prairie chicken I had in my hand. Obviously it means both bonus cards, so that has got to be a must play at some stage. Yeah, see, I had, because of the worm that the buzzard gave me, I thought, right, well, now I could play this sparrow. It's a bit late to be playing it, but I think have extra egg would be really useful here. Could potentially be the difference between playing a bird and not, when you've not got really a grass and engine going on. But yeah, obviously the end around goal, white powers. So I had the eagle that I probably want to play at some stage. I had the blue-winged warbler I could play. Obviously I've already got the condor down. My opponent already had 3 white powers, so it could be difficult to compete with him, but also had Cassin's Finch, had the turtle dove, had lots of options in my hand. See, I want to prioritise birds that are over 4 points for the last end around goal as well. Just deciding what to do, go for food this time. So I'm thinking definitely the eagle you played, maybe the blue-winged warbler, but yeah, I was thinking maybe food is not, I haven't got a huge amount of food going on, so maybe we should play the eagle as the first play, and then maybe play the blue-winged warbler as the spare play using the honey buzzard food, if we don't have the food already. So yeah, eagle goes in. Definitely a few useless cards that I could get rid of. I'm not sure why I kept that hawk. I could definitely get rid of that. I think I decided, I'm not sure why I'm holding on to this starling, but I really didn't want to give it up for some reason. I was still worried, I think, about having nothing to play due to lack of food and stuff, but it's definitely time for the starling to go here. Yeah. So lots of white powers from my opponent, which obviously good for this end of round, but it's not great for engine purposes. I mean, I can speak, I've not got much of an engine myself here, but you know, I've had games like it before where you just not got a good wetland bird at the start, not any ground pound power of any kind, and yeah, it's a struggle after that to find the cards. You've got to be very lucky. So now, obviously, that eagle has unlocked 4 eggs a turn, and then obviously a 5th for sparrow. So now it's not a bad little grass one now. was hoping I just need one worm from this honey buzzard and I could play the warbler. And I was hoping maybe draw the end of round, but I don't know what else they played. They played the black tern just then. I assume that's for a bonus card play. And here we see we get 3 worms, which is beautiful. And we're able to play the warbler straight away, which is very nice. Very nice little synergy when that works out. Obviously the grasshopper sparrow met my bonus card, the enclosure builder as well, so now the prairie chicken, and we did draw the end of round, so that was really nice. So the prairie chicken will max out both bonus cards and give me a new one, so that was obviously a must play. Also had the Cassin's Finch that could play, but we'll see what drawing cards will bring for us. Nothing too interesting in the tray. Yeah, so with this game, obviously you really do get hung up a little bit on trying to create a good engine and trying to find engine birds and create an engine. But actually, you know, if it works, then you may as well just make your game playing big point birds and bonus card birds, and it can sometimes work out pretty well. But certainly amount of luck involved in that. Obviously, just more than anything, but any part of this game. But it can work out really well. So my opponent's now got the grackle in to the grassland, so that's now a really good grassland for them. It's 8-point grassland, 3 eggs, grackle, points, and then partridge at the end. So I draw cards, and I don't really get anything too interesting, but I get at least a point from the Order Skull. Yeah, so now all I needed was, well, ideally 3 grains from the bird feeder to play the chicken, and the Cassin's Finch was going to be my other play because I didn't have anything else, but still obviously good, better than this card bird, but I could force them down if necessary. Yeah, my opponent just setting up like grassland still. Just deciding whether I needed to discard a card for more food or if I had enough, if I could force down everything I had here, but I decided I think I may as well do it. There's no benefit in having spare cards, so, but there is benefit in having spare food in case of a tie break. You can see my hawk failed again. I don't know how many attempts it's had. I was thinking at least 5 or 6, and it failed every time. So, but part of the course with that power. But at least means my opponent didn't get any free food with the vulture, apart from when I played the eagle, obviously. Actually, I wouldn't have done, because Teal Powers don't activate them, do they? So, oh no, I didn't play the eagle with the Teal Power, did I? No. That was during the game, but yes, my opponent's got a very lovely grassland now, Peregrine Falcon as well, so that's potentially 4, 5, 6, 7. It's potentially a 10-point grassland, but I think they've only used it once already, and they've only got 2 turns left, so it was unfortunately for them a little late setting up, but I was able to play my chicken here to max out my 2 bonus cards, leave enough food, and I did have just enough food in the end. I did need to get rid of that card, so I had enough food for the Finch. Just making absolutely sure I didn't want to make any mistakes, and it gave me Omnivore, which I'd definitely take 4 points. So that chicken, I think it's 3 for enclosure, 3 for large bird, 6, obviously 2 points for it itself, 8, and then he gets it on all. So it was a 12-point play, the chicken. Helped thinned around as well. Very nice. 13 points, 13-point chicken. So now I just had 2 turns of laying eggs. Obviously I was going to do that as my last action as well, since that's my best action and I don't need any more food. Yes, here we go. He's now got a full grackle, which not great for him, but so yeah, good amount of eggs, and we go into the Teal Powers. The honey buzzer didn't do so well that time, but good that it happened then. So I could have discarded 1 food for an egg if I'd known, but obviously you can't be sure about that. And it gave me orologist, and that's why you put an egg on each bird if you can, just in case you get orologist. And we won the end of round as well with the pro chicken, so what a play that was. And we're going to the scores, and yeah, I was feeling reasonably confident, I think, about this. Yeah, it's fantastic Yellowhammer game. Couldn't have gone much better, really. And got the win, 108, one of the best scores I've had with one of the top 3 maybe best games I've had with the player bird powers. 108 points, very good. And you can see my opponent had good bonus cards too. But yeah, just got their grassland in a bit late. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.